Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a review and walkthrough of One Piece episode 569. Now I'll keep my general comment and my rating at the end of the clips, so stay tuned. But let's dive right in. Now, if you remember from last episode, we see Luffy asking Jinbei to join his crew, and we're waiting on an answer. Now we also see Jinbei giving Luffy a blood transfusion because Luffy has a rare blood type. So apparently that was frowned upon within the Fisherman Society because of an old law, but Jinbei is a pirate, so they let it slide, I guess. So Luffy's okay, and that's where we were at. And again, does Jinbei join the Straw Pirates? We don't know. Sorry, just dramatic pause there. We really do not know. But again, let's dive right into this anime. We open up this anime episode not where we left off, because we still don't know if Jinbei is joining the Straw Hats, but what we do find out is that the royal family has freed all the pirate slaves that were humans. Like, literally they just were freed and now they're on their merry way. Now the new fishermen pirates, which were fishermen in general, mermaids and whatnot, these guys weren't so lucky. They're free, but they have to pay their dues. They have to work for the royal family now, doing odd jobs and whatnot. So they kind of got the raw end of the deal, but that was to be expected. Now we also see Decken and Horty being unchained and thrown into a tower prison, a prison that's in a tower. We don't know where it's at on the Fisherman Island, just that they are permanently locked up in a cell now with their officers. Now we also see Sanji, well, not just Sanji, I should say. We see the whole Straw Hat pirate crew in this episode, and they're like, they escaped. They're trying to get the heck out of Dodge because they don't want to be the hero. But apparently, King Neptune was like, wait. We're gonna throw a big banquet. You guys got to come back. So we see a guard come out of nowhere with one of those little communicators, and you hear King Neptune say, we're gonna have meat, all this food, and instantly Luffy jumps on the idea of food, meat, he's there. So apparently they're gonna be there at the celebration. Now I should also point out, if you remember the one guy that sided with Decken, the big blowfish guy, which is the monk, his name's Watsume. Yeah, the Kraken is taking him out of the Fisherman Island because he's too big to fit in a cell, so they banned him forever. So Watsume can no longer go back to Fisherman Island. I thought that was kind of funny, so I just had to say it. But again, I digress. Let's jump right back into this banquet. We see all the Straw Hat crew. They pick up Hachi and Kami, so those two are now at the banquet as well. And it's kind of nice. You see all these people, different fishermen everywhere. It's kind of interesting. I should also point out that King Neptune decreed to seal off the Fisherman District where Horty was from, because it's very lawless, and hence it became a big problem. So they just closed it down, and you can see it's been sealed. Now again, we are now at the banquet. We see King Neptune, his sons, Sirahoshi. So it's kind of interesting. Now we see a new character which doesn't have a huge role in this. Her name's Marie Nepal. Now, in reality, we know she's actually a black woman. She has afro. This is just the fisherman's version of a black woman with an afro. And man, does she have vocals. She reminds me of the Fifth Element movie about that one girl who could sing all these different chords. Yeah, so she's singing, and you would have assumed that someone from the Straw Hats crew might have made some funny comment about it, but they didn't. I didn't even find this music that attractive. I mean, this music, not the best I've heard in the series, so lost a few points there. But again, it's a banquet, they're having fun. You see Zoro drinking, Chopper having candy and whatnot, Luffy stuffing his face full of meat and what have you. That was just the general thing that was going on. Nothing too special, but I'm going to move past that because that really wasn't the high point of this episode. That was the low point in my opinion. We see Robin talking to Neptune. She actually asked to talk to him in private, and we're wondering, well, why? Well, it's kind of a scratch on the head because I wasn't expecting this right away. And well, we find out that Robin had an interesting question to ask to King Neptune. Who is Joy Boy? This is the question I asked in one of my other walkthroughs and reviews. I really want to know who Joy Boy was. Guess what? We still don't fully know. She just gets a couple short questions in there. She mentions that she can read the poneglyphs that were in the Sea Forest. And by the way, the Noah, where the Sea Kings were taking the Noah to be repaired, is in the actual Sea Forest. So that's interesting. But anyways, again, Robin tells King Neptune she can read the poneglyphs that were in the Sea Forest. And basically the poneglyphs were talking about Joy Boy apologizing for something, but we really don't know. But apparently he made a promise to the island in general. Again, we don't know what this full promise is. Now, apparently Neptune ends up telling Robin Joy Boy lived during the 100-year void, which again we don't know anything about, but again that has Robin very interested to know about this. And she also tells King Neptune, well, I was from O'Hara, I'm a survivor of O'Hara, and I guess that kind of opens up Neptune just a little bit. He feels comfortable. I mean, the Straw Hat Pirates saved everyone, so he's opening up to her. We also find out that although Joy Boy lived during the 100-year void, that was 800 years ago. Kind of interesting. And the message that he wrote on that poneglyph was for that mermaid queen during, well, I should say a mermaid princess during that 100-year void. So that's kind of interesting. Apparently, Joy Boy also says someone will come back to fulfill his promise. So I guess he knew he wasn't going to be coming back, but he makes a promise that someone else will be coming in his stead. That's kind of interesting. We don't know who, though. We also find out that I guess Robin brings up something about the 2 years ago on Sky Island. She also read a poneglyph that told her the location of an ancient weapon. This ancient weapon is called Poseidon. Kind of interesting. And another thing is, this princess during the 100-year void, she was also considered the weapon because she could summon sea kings. She was called Poseidon, and she ends up telling Robin ends up telling King Neptune, well, you know, your daughter can awaken sea kings, so she's noticed this. Again, neither one of them know that Luffy can also talk to, or at least hear, the Sea King, so that's kind of interesting. And she tells Poseidon, yeah, well, your daughter is Poseidon. She has another name now. She is the weapon. So that poneglyph on Sky Island 2 years ago that Robin found and read was about Princess, well, not just Shirahoshi, but the reincarnation of this queen that could talk to Sea Kings. So this is kind of interesting. And now we know that Shirahoshi's second name is Poseidon because she's the weapon that they talked about on the poneglyphs. Well, she's the reincarnation of this weapon. But that's where we're generally left off. But before I end it, I should also point out we get to see Jinbei again, and we get to hear his answer on joining the Straw Hat crew. I wanted to save this to the last part to go over this. I was like, WTF, what are you doing? Luffy asked them, and it looks like Jinbei is going to join. This was his answer. He's got a duty. We don't know what this duty is. I mean, he's no longer a warlord. He's no longer part of Fisherman Island. I mean, he's a pirate, so he can't really be fully affiliated with the Fisherman Island. He's not the part of the royal family, so the royal family's taking care of everything. So I don't understand what his duty is, but he doesn't say no to Luffy. But Luffy is a little pissed because and then Sanji jumps in, and it's like, you know, it's a man's. I think it was either Zoro or Sanji that jumps in, and they explain, well, this is a man's thing, you know, he has to take care of his own business firsthand. And I guess Luffy kind of understands, but he looks at Jinbei, he's like, I want that answer when you get back. And Jinbei, like, his basic reply was, when I'm done with my duty, I'll see you again, and ask me that question again. I'm like, really? Last episode was amazing, and you're going to do this to us? Just say you're part of the crew, even though you're staying behind. That would make it so much easier just to say, okay, you're a pirate, you're a Straw Hat Pirate. Come on. He's an ex-warlord, he's an ex-captain of the original Fisherman Pirates, because he took Shiki's position. I mean, this guy has a good past, he's got great power, and he's a great person in general. And he didn't say no, but he didn't say yes. And that's like, we're reading through the gray lines here. It's like, technically he's part of the Straw Hat crew, but it's not official. But Luffy, no matter what says, it's there if you want it, because he wants Jinbei in his crew. But again, that's where we're left off, so I wasn't really thrilled with this episode when I heard that answer from him. But again, that ends it for my walkthrough and review of One Piece episode 569. Now, my final thoughts, I want to know what the national treasure was that was stolen from Fisherman Island in like 1 or 2 episodes ago. I think it was 2 episodes ago that we find out, or maybe that was last episode, because we don't know what the national treasure is or what it's capable of doing. So I think that was in the back of my head. I almost forgot about it. Also, where does Shirahoshi stand with talking to Sea Kings? Where's her new position on what's next? We don't know. And Jinbei, come on, just admit it. You're a straw hat. You're a straw hat. You're part of the crew. Just admit it. Even though you're not going to be with them, just admit it. Luffy's never going to let it go. So I can't wait to see where that's going to go from here. Also, is this the actual end of the Fisherman arc? We keep postponing it by episode. I feel like we got 1 or 2 more episodes to go. So that's pretty much where I'm left off. Now, as for my rating, yeah, I'm not going to give it a good rating at all because Jinbei's response pissed me off a lot. And we didn't really get new characters in this episode. We didn't really have any battles. Just more closure on what happened in the last episode. So I'm giving it a solid 3.5 out of 5. I'll be generous. I was going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. So my final rating, 3.5 out of 5. But that ends it for my review and walkthrough of One Piece episode 569. I've got one more review coming up today and maybe another tomorrow. So definitely stay tuned. But before I forget, before I go any further, I gotta say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.